your boy Bry. I'm coming at you from the road, and I just left Texas and entered into Oklahoma. I'm actually headed up to Kansas, over by a little town called Emporia, just outside of Topeka. There's a little power plant up there that got that's not really little, it's pretty good size. It's got five 6,000s, and it's got 2 frame units. So I'm going over there to help a couple co-workers, and I took the drive up from Houston today. I left, it's about a 10-hour drive, so it looks like I've got about 3 hours left. But I noticed one thing when I'm coming through Oklahoma. They've got this sign on the side of the road where the speed limit says 75 miles an hour, you're on the interstate. And underneath it, it says no tolerance. No tolerance. So I think that means like we enforce it strictly. And I just seen the Kansas City Law Dog had a guy pulled over on the side of the road, so apparently he was going more than 75 miles an hour. And as you can imagine, I've got it set right at 75. But it was hot today. It was like in Dallas, when I went through Dallas, it was like 100 degrees exactly. And it says now on the dash 93 degrees here in Oklahoma. I've got about 45 minutes before I hit Oklahoma City, and then I'm going to continue northeast and go across into Wichita, and then I'm going to go across I think a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half, into Topeka or Emporia, and we're going to get this job underway, people. But just want to let you know, there's a really, it looks like a really good year going to start here to the traveling season. The weather's really nice, and a lot of people don't like that kind of heat, but let me tell you something, the heat and the blue sky, it definitely beats you know, rain and just grayness sometimes you'll have in some states up north or even on the northwest. But if you've never been out through Oklahoma, it's a beautiful state. You know, Oklahoma has a lot of things to offer. It's got a very big I don't know how you say it. I say Indian heritage. They probably say Native Americans or whatever, but when I grew up, we called it an Indian heritage. But we will hit the Kansas City, excuse me, not the Kansas City, the Kansas state line in about an hour and 45 minutes. And we will give you an update, because one thing we are on the lookout for is a Kansas City Law Dogs. We definitely don't want to run into a Kansas City Law Dog out there, especially riding high and tight the way we're riding here. I've got the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's not a bad little ride. There's a couple little quirks to it. I will definitely not purchase one of these, in my opinion. I rent a lot of vehicles. It's a nice vehicle. It's a solid vehicle, but there's a lot of little things to it that are really not, how do I put this? Comfort-wise, they're not really creature comforts that you're looking for. Every time you start this vehicle and take it out of park, you've got to push there's a little electronic button, which ain't hard to do, but it's just frustrating, for the emergency brake. What else? It's got this lane departure thing. I'm really not big on that. If you don't turn the blinker on when you go to turn, even if you're trying to swerve from something like a piece of a tire in the road, this thing will wrestle you back. This steering wheel is like an electronic Hulk Hogan up underneath the dash, and it will try to wrestle you back. And it's if you're not used to that, if you're old school, if you're Gen X like me, you definitely will say to yourself, this situation just made my well, we're not going to get into that. It just made some things pucker, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the lane departure, and I really would like to just dismantle it if I had a vehicle, a newer vehicle like this, because at the end of the day, if I need to swerve, I don't need permission from the vehicle to do so first. Like, if you don't hit the blinker, you're in trouble. It's going to fight you. It's going to wrestle you, and you're going to say to yourself, especially coming off an exit. I was coming off an exit in Texas, and I went to turn off, and it literally almost pulled me back up into the median, and it really made me a little nervous at that point. But as far as a product, I'm not a big fan of the Jeep product and the Grand Cherokee. they can have these. Okay, it does have the knob on the bottom like the Dodge trucks, which I like that. That's the only thing I really like about it for shifting, going from park, reverse, neutral, and drive. But other than that, we're headed to Kansas. We're going to make some videos when we get out in Kansas. Now, I will tell you from past experience, you are not going to experience a better sunset on this side of God's green earth than in Kansas. I think because it's so flat and it's so vast that the sun rays expand across. And if I can get to a sunset for you or a sunrise, I certainly will do that, and we're going to post that. But it almost looks like a nuclear bomb went off in the sunset times, and it's like, man, what are these purples and greens and these beautiful colors, you know? But I'm going to try to capture that for you, the DIYer. I'm going to try to capture it because maybe you, the DIYer, are not a type of person that has the ability to travel outside of your own state and your town, and maybe not even out of your own village. But me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as a DIYer myself, I'm going to try to capture that for you. I told you that I was going to bring you along this year. Now, I've missed a few jobs. I had a bunch of jobs that I didn't bring it up on the channel, but at the end of the day, I've been busy. I've got some things in the near future that I'm trying to tackle. I think I have some surprises for you. Let's just put it that way. And when these, I got 2 surprises. If I can acquire these 2 surprises, you're going to be really shocked when you see them, and I think you're going to say, that's a DIYer right there. So if I can get that settled in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a situation I think you'll be happy with, and we won't get into that any further. If you know, you know. But I have some vacation coming up in July, right after the 4th of July, and then I have some vacation at the other end of the month. But I do have to travel back to Texas, I know, a couple times in July. So we're going to try to see if we can't get you a different take on Texas even. But today's video is more about Oklahoma, and it's more about Kansas and the Kansas City law dogs that we are trying to avoid. So we're trying to do the speed limit. We're trying to keep our eye on here's another thing I noticed that they have out here, and it's posted very vividly. It says, left lane for passing only. Well, I know that. But it says on there, do not, what did they put? Do not impede traffic in the left lane. So they're coming at you out here in Oklahoma. You're not going to ride that left lane doing 55 when everybody's going around you and swerving around you. If you get a Kansas City law dog that goes by you and he sees you in that left lane in Oklahoma, I guarantee you they're not pulling over the people that are going around you. They're going to pull you over, and they may even pull you out of the car. Okay, the situation here in Oklahoma is, I think they're a little more, how do I put this? They're a little loose. They're a little loose with the, they're not afraid to yank you out of your car, so to speak. And they're a little loose with the gun belt, if you know what I mean. So I think you better obey the law. I think you better follow the directions on the speed signs and all this. Do not be cutting the traffic off here. We've got about another hour and a half worth of Oklahoma to deal with. And me, the DIYer, I'm going to obey the laws, and I'm going to obey the rules, because I don't feel like getting pulled out of my vehicle today and put on the side of the curb at 95 degrees. I'd rather not be out on the side of my hood sweating. But we're going to give you an update. We're going to try to get those sunsets. This is Bry. I've got to get on down the road, so we'll see you later.